Welcome to the Shred the Spread podcast, episode 31, Picks Saturday. If you're new, thanks for tuning in. And if you're returning, as always, thanks for coming back. Picks Saturday. We are always joined here by my right-hand man, the myth, the legend, the second piece, two of the three pieces in the Shred the Spread podcast. Dynell, welcome back, man. Missed you on Thursday. Obviously, we didn't do a podcast on Thursday. How you feeling?
Man, I feel so much better and so much relieved. That was a very, very scary moment that happened on Monday night. I'm glad to see it. We had a lot of good news today. I'm glad to see that he's up, awake, and seems to be functioning well. It was very, very touching. It was a very touchy week. So I'm glad to be back. We're in great spirits. DeMar Hamlin's fine. He's well. And on top of that, now we can get back to talking sports. It's going to be a tough week of football, not just for us, but the players as well. But, man, look, I'm ready to just go ahead and lock in, man. Let's try to win some money. Let's try to win some money this week.
Yeah, man. Last week of the regular season, we're going to do our best to bring you guys some winners. Dude, we were on such a hot streak. The last 2 weeks were rough. I'm not going to, very transparent. It was shitty. For those of you guys who don't follow us on Twitter, we basically took Thursday off just because there was so much sensitivity and we needed some more clarity surrounding the situation, not only for the Hamlin injury, but surrounding the league. There was so many line changes. I'm not going to say it was pointless, but it almost felt pointless to get on here and talk about these games, and then all these lines move so drastically where it doesn't even matter what we talked about on Thursday. So we got that sense of relief that it looks like he's going to be okay. He's making some progress. It didn't feel right talking about football with all that kind of negativity going around. Yeah. So this is definitely absolutely 100% agree. So definitely a sense of relief. Looking forward to these games now. I'm locked in. My God, we have to get our shovels out and dig through this damn slate, man. It's going to be a tough one. We're going to get through it. Dynell and I always say the ugliest weeks are our most profitable weeks. So hopefully, knock on wood, don't want to jinx it, but I think we've got some really good spots. We agree on a couple picks, which is always good. And we do go head to head on one pick, which has not went so well. So with that being said, just quick housekeeping. This is the last week of the regular season. We will probably, most likely, get on here and talk about the playoff matchups and the playoff games, and we'll give our sides. Obviously, there won't be as much volume, so we will not have as many picks, but we will definitely want to get on here and talk about them. Going forward, we will do our best to provide more content. We have already brainstormed a couple ideas. Dynell and myself do also dabble a little bit in the NBA and NHL streets. So if you guys are interested in that, just stay tuned on the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at @ShredTheSpread_. We won't be doing as long episodes, but we will definitely be looking to do like 5 to 10 minute episodes. Just probably about an hour and a half to an hour before games start, just so we have enough information to make reasonable picks without having too much injury news or, in my case, goalie confirmations. So definitely be looking out for that for the future content of this podcast. We'll ride through that until next football season. Then we'll be right back here doing the same thing we do. Dynell and I have also planned to enter a cappers contest. So
yes, sir.
There's a small fee. We'll make 5 picks a week together. And then it'll be 5 picks against the spread. And then at the end of the season, at the end of the regular season, the top 1% gets top 1% makes money. Top 2.2% gets a really hefty payday. So it'll be for a great prize. You guys will be here through the ride. We will make all of our picks together, and it'll be fun, man. It'll definitely be a learning experience. And our goal is to, you make money generally at 55%. We're shooting for 60%. 60% usually wins that contest, which doesn't sound too hard, but picking against the spread is insanely difficult because the NFL is the sharpest sport to bet on. So we ran through all that. Dynell and I each have 4 picks. So let's hop right into it. I kind of rambled on a little bit, so I'll let you take the keys, Dynell. What is your first pick for the final regular season week of the NFL?
All right, the first pick for the final week of the season. I'm going to do the one that we're going to go get. So I'm going to pick your opposite. I'm going to go with the Steelers -2.5 against Cleveland. Guys, we talked about the Steelers team. They were dead in the water. They were 2-6. There was a lot of things going on around the camp. Mitchell Trubisky looked rough. Kenny Pickett was just getting into the system. A lot of bumps were in the roads. TJ Watt was hurt. There was thoughts he might miss the whole season. Minka Fitzpatrick was hurt on the back end. They were the two captains of that defense. Guys, when I tell you they have changed those fortunes once those two defensive players came back, and Minka Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt, they turned it around. They are now in a position to be above 500 again. Mike Tomlin, once again, another opportunity to be above 500 or above. That's nuts. That is absolutely nuts to me. Kenny Pickett has showed great signs, especially being clutch in these past couple of weeks. Game-winning touchdown drives in back-to-back weeks. I mean, there's good mojo going around the Steelers right now. And yes, we can talk about how the Browns were good against the Commanders, but as you can tell, the Commanders are not not a good, well-coached team. So I'd rather go with a well-coached team than Mike Tomlin here, -2.5.
Yeah. As Dynell said, this is the one that we have conflicting. I am on the Browns +2.5. I would love if this number got to 3. I cannot lie. I think 3 would definitely be a key number. So you're getting it. You're getting the value. I'm kind of getting a half point against. But this just seems. I mean, this is more of like a gut play, a feeling play based on how the season's been going. This just screams that the Browns come in here and some reason get a win. I don't know what it is. Deshaun Watson hasn't been amazing. But I think this is like one of those games where it's like, okay, Deshaun Watson obviously is our quarterback going forward just because of how much money he makes. He's young. He does have talent, but we just have to reestablish that. I just see this as a Browns game where they just want to go in there and not necessarily like end the season on such a dud. I think they want to get some positive momentum going into next season, something to talk about in the offseason. I think it all ends here and also starts here with a divisional matchup at the end of the season. I would not be surprised if this game is an outright win by the Browns. Honestly, dude, I could easily see this game like Steelers win 16-14. I don't know why that's been in my head all week, but I just see the Steelers winning 16-14. And that's why this book will not move the Browns to +3 or the Steelers to 3. It's something is fishy why this line isn't moving. And because there's money coming on the Steelers, and why is this line not moving to 3? That's the only thing I'm going to say. I've just been trying to do my best on reading the books, reading the line movement. There's a lot of money coming on the Steelers. I already have it in my mind that the Steelers win this 16-14. So when you guys come back to the next episode and you see the Steelers won 16-14, we'll talk about that when that time comes. But yeah, so Browns +2. It's an ugly one, but it's one that I just personally will have to bet. So I will move to the one that we agree on before we get into our last two picks. We actually have two that we agree on. So one of the ones that we agree on. This is actually the Saturday night special. This is the playoffs before the playoffs. The Titans and the Jaguars before the playoffs. Whoever wins this game gets into the playoffs. We have two teams, honestly, and I don't even want to say two teams trending in the opposite direction because I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think the Titans are just dealing with some injuries and the Jaguars are kind of finding their footing. But I just think, we've talked about this early in the year, and I know this team obviously isn't the same because of Tannehill going down, but is Josh Dobbs really that much worse than Tannehill? Like, I just don't see it. I think 6.5 points for basically a divisional playoff game is insanely high. Mike Vrabel, as an underdog, one of the most profitable coaches in the NFL, as a underdog of 3 points or more, he hits almost at a 70% clip. That's unheard of. The book undervalues the Titans. The Jaguars have a lot of public money because of the momentum and the way that they've been playing. Trevor Lawrence obviously has been playing at an extremely high level, showing why he was the number one pick. But let's be real. In a playoff game, let's just say this was the first round of the playoffs. Are we really going to lay 6.5 for the Jaguars? The books are begging you to take the Jaguars. They're going to be almost everybody's money line parlay and teaser piece because it's a key number. There's a reason why the books won't put the Titans to 7. And it's because the Titans would not surprise anybody if they won this game outright. We got to remember, we're getting a fresh Derrick Henry. He did not play last week. This guy is going to get 50 carries and run it down the Jaguars' throats. I think this game stays close. Realistically, I see the Jaguars winning by like a field goal late. But I think Titans 6.5 is such a sharp play.
I like that. Like I said, I agree. I kind of agree. I basically agree with everything you just said. My biggest thing was Derrick Henry coming back fresh of a 1 week's rest. I think that played wonders into Mike Vrabel's hand. I think Joshua Dobbs, he had a subpar game. He hung in there. He did some good things. I mean, he's able to manage but as long as he's able to manage the game, they're fine. Right. The name of the Titans game is take the running game, chew clock, time possession. Right. That's the same way they stayed inside the game against the Chiefs that 1 week. So I like that same formula. Unfortunately, I don't expect the Titans to win this. If they do though, Mike Vrabel is I definitely put Mike Vrabel in a different realm as far as coaches, right? That tier of coaches that just find ways to win. Honestly, I don't see it. I see the Jaguars coming out of this, and Dougie P getting his little coach of the year kind of pitch out there. But I do believe they hang in there. They're gonna hold the game. It's like I said, division game guys. Like division games are always dogfights, like I said. And I'll definitely take Titans plus 6.5.
Obviously, we doubled up on that one. So what is your third pick?
My third pick. Another game with playoff implications. As you can tell, all my picks have playoff implications. I want to see, teams really go out there and actually put their best foot forward. There's a lot of uncertainty. I'm going to go with, boy, I can't believe I'm saying this, boy. I give these boys hell. Packers minus 4.5. And here is why. For some reason, guys, they finally done it. They finally have done it. They have finally realized after about 13 weeks, that they need to run the goddamn ball. That's it. Run the damn ball and let Aaron Rodgers sit back on his couch, his lounge chair, and just throw passes when he needs to. He has the great arm talent. We get it. He's a legend. He's a legend in making. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Super Bowl champion. But man, look, he is also 37. Let him chill a little bit. Let him take the load off. Let that running game carry him for once. AJ, like I said, they have one of the best running back duos in the league, and on top of that, you're going against a Lions defense who gave up 100 rushing yards to Justin Fields in the first half? Was it the first half? It was like a half, like maybe even like three quarters?
It was something crazy like
that.
Yeah,
it was something crazy. Like I just remember me just sitting back watching, all of a sudden Bleacher Report, Justin Fields already has 100 plus rushing yards. Like expect the same deal. Expect this running attack to really get out there and really get going. Cold weather, like I said, you take Jared Goff off the fishbowl. I expect him to kind of, I won't say fold, but kind of fold in these situations. The Lions haven't been in these situations in absolutely years. They have 2 playoff wins since 1957. So yeah, I'll go with the experience of being there, the pedigree. I'm sorry for the underdog story. Y'all can play your violins home. Packers minus 4.5.
Yeah, I definitely think the Packers win this game. I will say if anybody listening likes the lines, wait to bet the line for real. You will not lose any value. If anything, you'll gain an extra point or two. If the Lions basically lose all their playoff hope because of that Rams and the Seahawks game, a little foreshadowing, we do like a sign that, then just go ahead and wait, because if the Lions' chances of making the playoffs goes down, that line will go up because people are going to assume that the Lions will sit people and they're not going to play for anything. But the Lions are the one team that loves to play spoiler. So if you do like the Lions, I suggest you wait. You could probably get that number closer to 5.5, potentially 6. That's my only reasoning on that.
But if you like the Packers, take it now.
Yeah, absolutely take it now. That number will not drop. It will only go higher. So you're definitely getting the best potential value out of that pick. Okay, so I will go to my third pick, and my third pick happens to be a game where I am looking forward to some ugly football. I'm taking the Broncos and Chargers under 40 points. This just screams, first of all, I don't think Justin Herbert will necessarily play this game. I think this is like a 4:00 game, and they also have some playoff implications. I think I can't remember who it is, but whatever football team or whatever, I think it's the Ravens. I think the Ravens would have to win in order for the Chargers to have to win or something. But realistically, the Chargers are in the playoffs. So based off the 1:00 games, if it's looking okay, I don't think Herbert will play this game. That's why this line has shifted to the Chargers -3 to +3. So the Chargers potentially aren't playing their starters. I just see some ugly football. Even if the Chargers do play for their starters, I see them coming out in maybe the first half or something. So I don't see a lot of big play potential. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, a lot of those guys aren't going to play. So you're missing a lot of highlights. Broncos are the Broncos. We know the Broncos don't put up any damn points. And we're having a Broncos team that doesn't put up any points versus a Chargers team playing potentially backups. So the Broncos aren't going to put up points, and they're not going to let up points. Under 40 seems generous. I probably would have played this all the way down to 36. So I will be on the Chargers and Broncos under 40 total points. I will let you take the keys for the last one because we both agree on our last pick.
All right. Well, I'm going to take the keys, and why don't you just ride? Just hold on and just ride for this one here. I'm going to, like I said, we both agree on this pick. And this was one of those picks where it was one of those do I, should I, could I, fuck it, do it. Rams +6 against the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams are going to come out here. They don't have any draft picks. I'm going to give that props to Jared. Jared did point that out for me early before the show started. They're not playing for no draft picks. They don't have any from the first round. They're going to come out here nice and strong. Baker Mayfield is still auditioning. honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's auditioning to stay with the Rams and wait for Matthew Stafford to kind of head his way out, kind of like how Jameis Winston did Drew Brees, but that didn't well because they don't want to use Jameis Winston. But that's besides the point. This Rams team does play with pride. They came in there. They went. I remember one game. Who they played? The Broncos when they absolutely just wiped the floor. I mean, absolutely wiped. Yeah, they absolutely wiped the floor with them. They had like 4 picks on the D line. Bobby Wagner had a pick. I mean, Russell Wilson was Oprah Winfrey at one moment, man. So they definitely have potential still on that defense to kind of keep the points at bay. As per se, I'm very curious and I'm very, very curious about this Seahawks running game. They kind of faded towards the end of the season. That's why those losses came about. So we're gonna see. I really believe in that. I really believe in Bobby Wagner and that defense a little bit. I actually believe in Baker Mayfield. He's been playing really, really well. Baker Mayfield, I want y'all to understand, Baker Mayfield is not a bad player. He's just not consistent enough. So I would love to see him go out here, have a nice little showing, have a nice little ending party, and it's a division game. Go ahead and knock out the Seahawks, their chance to win the playoffs by going into their territory at the 12th man, guys, at the 12th man, and handle business.
Yeah, dude. I just think, like you said, Baker Mayfield playing for his future. This Rams team has nothing to lose. They don't have their draft pick. So it's not like winning or losing does anything to affect them. Detroit has that. And if anything, they want Detroit to have a worse draft pick just so it makes the trade look better. But yeah, dude, Rams +6. It seems like a really good number. I thought honestly this number would probably get to 7 because I thought there would be a lot of people on the Seahawks, but that's not the case. I would not honestly. I seriously would not be surprised if the Rams outright win this game. I'll probably sprinkle it a little bit. Also, probably will sprinkle the Titans money line a little bit, get some good value. But I don't know, dude. It just seems like a good spot. The Rams coming off a bad loss last week to the Chargers. 6 points just seems really high. I think Baker Mayfield is going to put on a show to end the season because we got to remember, people remember your last performance. You could have 10 great performances, end on a really shitty performance, and people have short-term memory. They remember what they saw last. So this is definitely a big step for Baker if he wants to continue his career as a starting quarterback in the league. Yeah, man. 6 points.
Oh yeah. Also another fact. I'm sorry, my bad. Also another fact. I just thought about this too. Tyler Lockett and Kenneth Walker are both questionable in that game, and that is huge. On top of that, I know I didn't bring it up earlier, but keep an eye out on that injury report.
Yeah, 100%. So just really quickly, I am on the Titans +6.5, Browns +2.5, Chargers and Broncos under 40, Rams +6. Dynell is also on the Titans +6.5, Steelers -2.5, Packers -4.5, and Rams +6. Just really quickly, if you guys are interested in prop bets and stuff, I think one thing you could take advantage of is look for the receivers generally who are getting close to their incentives. Action Network does a really good write-up on a lot of the players that are really close to receiving their performance bonuses. Like, they need like 1 catch for whatever X amount of dollars. So definitely look to parlay some of those. You'll get some good value. And also, let's not be silly. If you guys want to parlay the scenarios for a team to make the playoffs, do that and do not just click, such and such to make the playoffs. That would not make sense. You get better value if you parlay the scenario for a team to make the playoffs instead of just betting the future of a team making the playoffs. So that's a couple opportunities you can take advantage of this week. It's the end of the season, so a lot of these games could, take a turn. People take out their starters and stuff. Also take advantage of live betting. So that's some advice I can give to you guys. So parlay the playoff scenarios, look at some of the player bonus incentives for X amount of dollars, and take advantage of some live bets. But with that being said, Dynell and I will probably just do 1 episode a week for the playoffs. We'll probably just do like a pick Saturday type of thing. We'll talk about the games. It probably won't be very long. We'll just go through the games aside, some information, what we'll probably do. Other than that, man, I think that'll do it, man. A profitable season nonetheless. It was definitely a ride. Obviously, we kind of started slightly in the middle of the season. Hopefully, you guys listening saw some growth. You saw some entertainment. You made some money. That's what we're all here to do, is make some money. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna get out of here. We covered everything. Obviously, no money line parlay and no teaser this week just because there's so much uncertainty. But Dino, did you want to hit on anything for the season? Anything you want to say? Get off your chest?
Oh yeah, no. First thing I want to say, I do want to thank you guys for listening out. Like you said, this is something that me and Jared have been wanting to do for a long time now. I know that we'll probably have another episode, for the playoffs. 1 episode a week for the playoffs or whatever. But this is the final regular season week, so this is, you know, kind of like the end of like the longer episode, you know. So I just want to give you guys a great shout out and a great appreciation for you guys for listening. The people at work, the people who I know, my family members are listening, my friends are listening, people you guys are really sharing that out. I really do appreciate that. I mean, it means a lot to me. Like I said, for me, it took a lot of courage to get behind the mic and kind of express, you know, how I feel about picks and stuff like that, you know, and it takes a lot of encouragement. And you guys doing your comments, you guys are sharing it, and just hearing the analytics from Jared's end, it really really helps me out. It really makes me feel like, yeah, I really can do this. And it brings confidence, and man, it brings joy. You know what I'm saying? It really makes me feel like, man, you know, people really listen to my opinion, and I appreciate that more than everything. Just wanted to let that out to you guys.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, thanks everybody. Obviously, thanks to Dynell for doing this with me. It's way better doing it with two people, one. What? And also, shout out to our producer Tyler at Real Metronomes GN, not NO, on Twitter. He is the magic behind the mix. He obviously makes us look a lot better. He cuts in and out a lot of our bullshit that we say, we mess up on. He's magic, man. So appreciate him. Thank you guys. As Dynell said, can't thank you enough for everything. We have consistently gained listenership on all platforms. Apple Podcast is popping. I cannot lie. So shout out to our Apple Podcast. I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you guys for an awesome season. Dynell and I will be back most likely on Saturday. So stay tuned for like a Pick Saturday type of video or episode. Maybe Friday, just because of the playoffs is a little bit different. But
playoff edition.
Other than that, we will we'll watch these games. Let's make some damn money, Dynell. Let's make some damn money. Let's end on a freaking W, dude. So
I might even go to a casino to celebrate. You feel me? Y'all join me in the casino with me, because we're gonna tell Vegas to give me that money. You feel me?
That's right, man. Always feels good when you say it and you mean it. Thank you guys so much for listening. This has been episode 31, Pick Saturday. We will see you guys for playoff edition next week. Thank you guys so much for listening. Until next time, see you.